We have the highest risk for flash flooding for Southern California today. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. It's Christmas Eve. If you live around the Los Angeles area, specifically around the transverse mountain ranges, the Weather Prediction Center did issue a high risk, the highest risk possible for flash flooding, or 4 out of 4. And continuing with yesterday's forecast, this rain has been continuing on since last night, overnight, and it's going to continue on until about 6 p.m. Pacific time today. The predicted total amount of rainfall that's going to occur in this area from last night, today, and a little bit of tomorrow is going to be about 4 to 7 inches of rainfall. In some isolated places, especially you live near the mountains, you're going to have about 10 inches of rainfall. Now I do want to point out that while the Los Angeles area and these mountains have a high to moderate risk, there is a slight risk going all the way from Southern California to Northern California and also Southern Nevada, which includes Las Vegas. For the rest of California, there's going to be a little break for now for precipitation, but we're going to see a second wave around 6 p.m. Pacific time, and this is going to go from Northern California all the way down to Southern California again. And this next round of rain is going to be a little bit more scattered than one big blob of consistent heavy rain, but still heavy rain regardless. And once this low pressure comes closer to California, we're going to have waves and waves of this scattered heavy precipitation. And this is going to last this evening, tonight, and all through Christmas Day. So it's the holiday season and there's probably going to be more traffic than usual. So this is going to be a very concerning event. If you don't need to travel today, especially getting closer to the mountain, then I recommend not driving. The biggest concern for flash flooding today, especially with these mountain ranges, are going to be landslides, mudslides, and runoff, especially in places that have recently had burn scars, especially from the fires that we've seen early in this year in January. And of course, these areas are very urban and concrete has a much harder time handling a lot of water at once. So talking about why this is all happening, we have to look at 500 millibars or maybe the troposphere. We have this somewhat stationary high pressure that's been sitting in the central part of the US. And this high pressure has been creating this ridge throughout North America, and it's basically been the highway of transporting all this moisture from the Pacific and throughout the continent. Something else I want to point out for Southern California and why this has become a significant event is we look at 850 millibars or 5,000 feet above the surface, but looking at the geography of the transverse mountain ranges and the winds aloft, we can see that we're having some southwesterly flow, and that's almost perpendicular to the mountain ranges. And when you have winds going perpendicular to a mountain range, in this case going towards it, you're going to maximize that orographic lift, or winds going up with that mountain, and essentially forcing a lot of lift and creating these rain showers. But going back to 500 millibars at this high pressure, this is exactly the reason why we're seeing a lot of warmer than average temperatures throughout most of the United States. But also take note of its shape. So we're having a lot of moisture coming from California, and with this high pressure, it's going to be transporting all that moisture all the way into Canada and then eventually landing into the Northeast. This is exactly why we saw a lot of snow this morning for the Northeast, specifically in like Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. And again, we're going to see this on Christmas morning around 5 a.m. an additional 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. And also something to keep in mind, this same moisture that's in California in this moment is going to be transported to the Pacific Northwest for places like Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey, possibly by Friday. So we may see some snow. And there are some confidence that there could be 4 inches or greater of snow accumulation.